45 seconds behind on there. A minute now.
Hello, everybody.
Are we up?
Yes.
I never see. Well, she put her thumb up with the wrong hand. Hello, everybody. It's Tom Chenault, and it's the Tom Chenault Show. This is the first time I've ever done this show, so I'm a complete amateur. No, that is not my fault. Here's the deal. I'm looking through a control panel window about that big, and normally she sticks her thumb in that little slot, but apparently, because Adrian saw it, she stuck it someplace else. It sounded bad, but wherever she stuck it, I didn't see it. I didn't feel it, nothing. Hello, Adrian. How are you?
Hello, Tom.
What's going on?
It's great to be here.
You call me Dad, not Tom.
All right. Hello, Dad.
What's going on, son?
You're like a father.
I'm like a father to you, and I love your shirt. It looks very nice. So, great show today for us.
Super good show.
Guest number one is who?
Christina McCulley, who is just the most authentic person in the world, as evidenced by her current surroundings as she does this radio show with us, which we will ask her about in a minute. But that is not a mistake.
It does seem to be a closet of sorts.
It does seem to be a closet of sorts.
When I used to do a giant radio show called Business for Breakfast every morning, I covered 89% of the state of Colorado for 3 hours every day during drive time. And I interviewed people like Maria Barolomo and Trump and Kramer and all these great people. It was a tremendous job, but I was doing it in my coffee shop, and some people made comments like, that show sucks. We want to drink our coffee, not listen to him. So I moved myself into a closet smaller than that for 6 months. So I love the fact that you're in a closet. It's unbelievable. I got my start in a closet, and here you are. How's it going, Christina?
Great. How are y'all?
We are tremendous. It's great to have you here today.
So tell me.
I'm so honored.
So the wit and wisdom of a child of hers. Let's talk about that first.
Oh my goodness.
I had threatened him. I said, if you come in here, I'm going to make you go to the farm every single day, because he promised me he would stay in the bedroom and not come in here and no telling do what on camera. So
I'm praying he will come in.
Who is this kid? I mean, I hear about you always tell me. Adrian tells me more about his kid, about your son, than his.
y'all don't want him to come in here because he
stuff.
thinks Putin on camera is funny and pulling down his pants and all that stuff, and I have to get on to him all the time. And so yeah, y'all don't want him. I threatened him. He's in there. He knows he better stay in there. I said, Mama's got to work. You can come on later when I'm on, like not on Mr. Tom's show, but right now you can't come on.
So who are you? Tell me. Why don't you introduce her properly?
Yeah, absolutely. So Christina has been in the network marketing profession for a couple of years now, and she really got onto our radar screen because she was coming onto that ANMP Rising Stars panel.
Yeah.
And I caught hold of her doing these Facebook Lives that are in the closet. So you're gonna have to talk about that in a minute. But it was
oh my God.
And
why would you worry about
that? Because she was.
Keep going.
So anyway, so she does these tremendous Facebook Lives from inside her closet, and what I love about Christina is that she's all heart, and she is exactly who she is, and she is exactly who she is to the tune of her little boy, walking on camera and pulling his pants. I love everything about you, because much like someone else I know,
yeah.
Every time you go on live, I got to watch this because I just got to see
gonna
what's going to happen.
Yeah, and that's authentic, vulnerable, real is what people want, don't they? If I had your face, I'd be rich. I'm a mess that gets away with what she does. But man, it's rare that you see somebody so completely comfortable in their own skin that they're willing to look bad in order to look good. We acknowledge you for that, and that's unbelievable, don't you think?
Absolutely. So Christina, tell us the story of how you started doing a Facebook Live in your closet and how that has kind of become your thing.
Okay. So I've been in my current company about 1.5 years, but in network marketing, I got in probably 7 years ago. And I was in my first company about 3 years. And I went to an event, and people were standing in line to take pictures with the VIPs. I wasn't a VIP yet. VIPs were sitting in a certain section. People were just wanting their pictures taken. I felt like insecure and kind of insignificant. And I was like, one day I'll be a VIP. And I'm a Christian. So, as I know y'all, God spoke to my heart and was like, you're VIP to me. And I was lifted up at that event. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I don't have to like, I mean, it's wonderful to uplift humans and to honor them, but we are VIP in God's eyes already. So we shouldn't let ourselves be insecure around when it seems like when we're not as high up as somebody like in a company. So when I got home that weekend after that event, I just really felt like God wanted me to share that with everybody. The only place that I could find to share it was in my closet, because I do have 3 kids. We have a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, and now a 5-year-old. At the time, they were a couple years before that, but they're loud, and my husband's loud, and everybody's loud in my house. And so the only place I could go was in my closet and shut the door. So I did a video, and I uploaded it. We didn't have Facebook Live at the time, but I uploaded it and just told that story, that no matter what, no matter where you think you are in business or in life, or, you know, you could be a house mom or you could be someone who runs a company, but it doesn't matter. You are VIP in God's eyes. And so I really felt like he wanted me to share that. I did it in the closet. People loved it. The next day, there was something else that maybe happened. I got my closet again. So later on that week, I saw a lady in the grocery store. She was like, I love your closet confessions. That's what I've named them. And I'm like, okay. So when I kept doing them in the closet, I said to my following, who was at the time, I mean, I'm up to, 17,000 on Facebook. At the time, I had like maybe 1,000 friends. I just said, people's name these things closet confessions, which is funny because people that don't know me jump on thinking I'm fixing to like really share something fun, I guess, in the closet when I post that name, Yeah. So, and so it just stuck. It really just stuck. And honestly, I've tried to do videos outside the closet because at one time I had terrible Wi-Fi. I didn't have any lighting set up and all that. And it was just hard. I just felt like God was like, get back in the closet. Like, that's where you started. That's where I want you. And so that's where I do when I need to talk about something, I tell everybody on my Facebook Lives, like, these are my therapy. Like, I'm talking to y'all, but like, this is like, I'm listening. It's my therapy. And when you made the comment about being real and authentic, I'm almost nervous not to be, because I don't want to be a fraud. I don't want to be a fake. And so I almost share too much. A lot of times I know I do, but, I respect my family's privacy. I don't share all their details, but I feel like I share too much of mine. And people will message me and be like, you're so funny and inspirational and you are always happy. I'm like, no, I am not. I just don't want to be negative on there. But I do try to share when I am going through a time of depression, or if anxiety is hitting me, or whatever trial I'm going to. I do try to share that because other people I know are going through it. I know somebody needs to hear it. So.
And talk a little bit about that, because I do think that's interesting. And I've noticed you do this, that like, you often will post sort of a veiled, like, I'm going through something right now, or I'm frustrated about something right now. And you're not calling people out or doing things like that. But do you find that creates connection for you as you do that and you're out,
yeah,
you're putting yourself out there?
I didn't even know I was building a brand. When people were like, oh, you built such a brand, I didn't know what I was doing. All I was doing was just being myself, because like I said, I almost have a fear of being a hypocrite. So I almost let that like make me share too much. I have a tendency to shut down when I'm going through something. So normally after I'm kind of out of it, I'll share it. Just because I don't want to be negative Nancy, I don't want to like bring everybody down. But yes, the messages I get from people that say that was for me, or like I'm going through that. I mean, I know, Mr. Tom, I had a girl, I know you can relate to this. I had a girl that messaged me and it was like, I'm 3 weeks sober today, and your post like helped me so much. And I was like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk it out. Like, okay, who are you hanging around with? And because she was scared. She was going to go back to drinking. I said, well, who are you hanging around with? What are you listening to? And also, yeah, me just sharing anything really, I think, makes people feel like they can, ask me questions or talk to me. And I never want to be just a quote or just a figure. I want to, like, seriously, like, let's talk about it. Like, let's figure out how, I know you're scared. So let's think about who you hanging around. What are you listening to? Let's get an action plan. Let's pray about it. And I don't want to just be one, oh, I'll pray for you, and that's it. I do want to connect. that's, I memean, in the grand scheme of things, who do we love in eternity is so much more bigger than just right now. So that's, I mean, I want to be that person that's not just a Facebook figure. I want to make a difference, even if it's in just one person's life, because I know in eternity I'll see them at some point, probably.
Got it. How do you parlay that into network marketing success? Obviously, you have gone from really, really a good start to an unbelievable start. How did that happen? What did you took your best self, what you've done, your unique self, and you turned it into a machine that has built a huge organization. How'd you do that?
I really do a lot of business more in my private group. And so when people message me and ask me, or maybe even on, okay, so just recently in my private group has a lot of my business post, but it has a lot of me. Like you get a lot of me in my private group. Every single morning I go live for 2 minutes and share motivation. Yesterday was like Mindset Monday. Today would have been Tip Tuesday, but my face was like huge. I was all swollen, and I was at the dentist, like the door, whenever they open, I was like in their office. So I'm going to go live after this and there, but you get a lot of me in my VIP group. So when I am on Facebook regular and I do a Facebook live, I'll say, if you want to see me every day, you can be in my VIP group. And so I use my VIP group to do posting and all that. And normally, I guess people just kind of pick up on, like, they'll pick up on I've lost weight, or they'll pick up on I'm feeling, whatever you might be doing in network marketing. They'll pick up on that and they'll say, I've had people say, I don't even know what you do, but I kind of want to buy from you because I like you, so sure, here's what I do. Here you go,
Yeah. And so are you, as you're doing these videos and, the public ones, and you're learning how to drive people to a place where they're wanting to plug into what you're doing, what's the biggest difference maker you've found in that space?
Just being real. Like I did a video last week about how, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to mention any companies, but weight loss products. I did a video how I've gained weight, and I'm in a weight loss company. So I was just very open and real, and that this is where I'm at. Things work if you take them. When you don't take them, things don't work. So on my public page, I'm very open and real. And then in my VIP group is where I share a lot more testimonies of other people's, a lot more information. I don't do that a lot on my profile. People do, and they have great success with it. I have just found that in my group is where I'm really, I'm open on my profile, but in my group, I feel like I might be even more open.
Cool. All right, let's take a little break. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back right after this. This is the Tom Chenault Show, and we're sponsored by GCN Radio, which is the huge satellite company all over the world given to us by Ted Anderson, and we love him too. So happy Thanksgiving, Ted, and we'll be back right after this. And we're back. Marianne, why are you asking what's going on? What did I do wrong now? You about stuck your head through the window and there's glass there. I'm okay. So what's up? This is the commercial.
This is the commercial. Let's talk contact mapping.
What is it? What is it?
Contact mapping is taking what makes Tom Tom and allows him to be the most connected and serving person, maybe in the network marketing profession.
That's what Fraser Brooks said in England 2 weeks ago.
And to be able to play on that level and to dig deep inside of your connections and to create huge opportunity for yourself and to create huge opportunity for others. And it's all right there for you. And really what you are just a couple of clicks away from being this sort of agenda driven, people are a little sort of wary of you, kind of traditional network marketer sort of persona, to being the person that people seek out because they see that you're in it for them. And that doesn't mean that you're not in it for yourself as well. You just can learn, if you can put other people in front of you, that it all takes care of itself. And so contact mapping is not just an app. It is really a way of being that has an app associated to it that makes it super easy and simple for you to take advantage and to make the most of all of the connections that you already have and to play way bigger about making more connections.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. And the name of the game is you're only as good as your Rolodex. I don't care if you're a movie star good looking or you look like me. I promise you, it has always bothered me that I had this best product. It was less money. And that guy over there had all the business. And I could not figure it out. And you know why he had all the business? His product was more expensive and it was inferior. He was a nicer guy. And when I finally realized that I, as a human being, could trump all that, it changed everything. And that's an interesting choice of words there. Trump all that. Yeah. So be kind, be nice, love people, pay attention to who they are. And this app lets you do that, right?
That's exactly right. And so it's much easier for you to really see what this looks like and see how easy it is, because you see somebody like him, and even me as his son, I watch him do his business and do life, and because he plays on such a high level, it can be, you sort of go, well, that's great. Like, you've got this big personality, everybody, that's not me. And what we had to do in order to make this work is that we had to take that and package it down into a system that no matter how much you feel like you don't have the connections already, that we can get you there from here. And so I just dropped a link in the comments a second ago. It's contactmapping.com/action. And there's a 4-minute video there where you're going to see how this thing really could work for you, and how there is just no chance in the world that you couldn't do this, because we built it to be as simple as humanly possible, right?
Chad Williams is a great guy. Most of you know him, and most of you can't believe you know him. And when I first met him, he was so scared that he was going to lose. He wouldn't stop talking. And we got him using the app, and we got him interviewing people with the coffee shop interview that's in the app. And you are now going to meet a transformed human being. This guy now, remember, he asks you questions. You don't realize he's doing it. He documents it. And then he comes back around the block 2 months later and reminds you of that conversation and something that you said. And his life, his business, his relationships changed overnight, didn't they?
Absolutely.
And I am telling you, he was a perfect test tube baby. All of you are. Contactmapping.com/action. We're coming back right after this. And we're back. We have got what's her name?
Christina McCulley.
Christina McCulley. I have a friend named McCauley.
Oh,
and so that's why I keep getting caught on the McCulley part, and I didn't want to mess it up.
There you go. That's important.
I know
it's fine.
I
went from Smith. I went from Smith to McCulley, so
You married a McCulley and you're still married? That's
yeah,
good.
20 years. 20 years.
Still married. So do not, Chad. Yeah, he remember when he came around the corner, he goes, "That woman is so pretty." I said, "Chad, she's in a closet." It was unbelievable. No, that's exciting.
Ryan and Angel are on here. That's pretty cool.
We love the Ryan. Angel Fletcher and Ryan Higgins.
Man,
2 little
both of them anyway.
Sitting
They
in a
both
tree.
are just losing weight like it's going out of style.
I know it.
It's unbelievable.
I know they're saving money. They have to save money for their wedding. They're scrimping.
Yeah.
They're scrimping.
We're going to Disney. We're going to Disney. Woo, for the wedding.
Woo.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know that. Maybe that's not wrong.
Yeah, that's very, very exciting. And you have so many fans. It's unbelievable. But continue on, my son.
So you're using these private groups. You're building on a daily basis. For somebody who's watching you, and I love how relatable you are. What would you say to somebody who's just getting started in this business? Maybe they're scared. They're scared to show their face on a Facebook Live. They don't know where to start. Where do you tell somebody brand new to get started in this business?
I tell them to say that. You get on Facebook Live and you say, "I am nervous," because let me tell you, the people behind the camera, I've never sat behind the camera and thought, this person is so dumb. What are they doing? I look at them as, gosh, look at them. They're going live and they're being brave. If you think about it, have you sat behind the camera and thought, now, if it's like a total train wreck, I mean, come on, that's one thing. But if somebody is generally putting themselves out there, we usually are like, wow, and if they are negative, they're jealous. It's point blank, they're jealous. But I would say that. Say I'm nervous. Say I'm scared, and let people know. Because when you try to hide it, the devil, the enemy, whatever the voices you hear are just dangling that over your head. So if you put it out there, you bring it to the light, it can't be dangling over your head anymore. So you just say, I'm scared, I'm nervous, but I really want to share this product with you. I really want to share this opportunity with you. I really want to tell you what happened to me today. put it out there. That's
I'll
what I
tell
would
you
tell them.
something, and this is going completely down another rabbit hole. I mean, he was even a little suppressed on. God bless Ray Higdon.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Higdon, with those challenges.
Oh yeah, 14 days. Yeah.
Took so many people out of the.
My
Yes,
statement
it
is
did.
you gotta beat the fear out of yourself by just doing it over and over again.
Yes.
Eventually,
The hardest thing is pressing that go button. Yes. Yeah. And people ask me, how are you not nervous? And I'm like, I mean, sometimes I am, especially when I'm being very vulnerable, when I'm really wanting to share my flaws and my weaknesses. I am a little nervous, and I'll stutter. But I mean, I don't know. I happen to love the camera. And my son gets that from me, if you can't tell. But it is nerve-wracking. It really is. But other people are nervous too. They're nervous too. So they're not sitting there judging you. They're sitting there like, oh gosh, I know they're nervous. But when you say you're nervous, it just takes the darkness away. It brings you to the light, you know?
That's so true. And I think that's true in general. Kind of calling one on yourself, whatever that is, right?
Yeah. And
call yourself out. Yeah.
No question about it. And another thing and for those of you that are wondering, she figured out where her tribe was, and she comes on here. She's a hot mess on Facebook. Then she ships up anybody that loves her into a VIP group that she has got and various other groups that she's got. And that's where her tribe resides. So basically that's what every one of you can do. Is that correct? Your tip is really,
I love on them. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're coming in.
And it's not like I'm in there. Yeah. I'm not in there like spam. Yeah. And if I do love a product, when I post about that product, I'm like, I love this. Or if I don't love it, I'll be like, this don't work for me. I mean, whatever. And then there's a lot of interaction. There's a ton of tell me this about you. Tell me this about, it's not just product. It's very much we are a family.
Might have lost her.
So Christina, if you can hear this, what's the best way to get a hold of you if we're trying to get a hold of you?
I don't know what happened.
Sorry, we got she's you. Back. How can people get a hold of you? We're getting out of here.
Christina Smith McCulley is my profile. That's the main place I am. I mean, really, I have a business page, but the main place is my profile. I check my other folder that everything goes to all the time. So if you message me and it goes to my other folder, I'm going to check it. I'm going to talk to you.
All right. We love you. You are a tremendous
I love y'all.
Are you going to GoPro?
Not this year. We bought 2 vehicles this year, so I gotta kind of get ready for Christmas. I think we're going to Atlanta for Christmas and all that. So yeah.
All right, baby. Well, we love you with all of our heart. We'll see you next time. We'll be back right after this. Yeah. We're on the Genesis Communication Network. Adrienne and Tom Chenault, stick around. And we're back.
All
Christina
right.
did a beautiful job, didn't
that
she?
That was awesome.
Okay, let me see your phone. My phone doesn't work. Jim Calabrese, Ryan Higgett, holy mackerel, Linda McCormick, I love you. Yes. We're coming up on John Haremza, and he's a great guy. Hi, Marika. Hello, who else we got here? Melinda Wynn, Emma Ridley, all the way from across the beach. Kathleen Cavender, Gary Brooks, Arlex down in Colombia, Adrian's friend Jocelyn, my dear friend Taylor Thompson, Jason Garcia. What's that?
Have John come on camera for us.
Have John who come on camera for us?
Yes, John Haremza.
Okay, bring John on if you don't mind, somebody. Jay's on here. Holy, Denise Dunlap. So we got a lot of people watching the show, and there's John. This is going to be a great day. And I think we got John. I think we've got the whole gang, but let's talk about contact mapping a little more while you're on the break, since that's what we're doing here. And then we're coming back to the show in a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell me a story.
So we've been going live a whole bunch. We kind of talked about this, right? That we were part of Ray Higdon's 14-day challenge. We've just been spending a lot more time really talking to our community through Facebook Lives, in addition to all the other stuff that we do. And it's just, what I'd say is I want to have you guys come over to our Facebook page, which I'll post here, a link to here in a minute. But come hang out with us over on Facebook, because in addition to everything that we are doing around the app, really what we believe is that nobody out there that is providing these tools is really doing enough in terms of talking to people about how to show up differently in relationship. And what we really see is that that's our mission, right? The app is incredible. The app is the perfect tool to support you in doing what you're doing. But if you're not becoming a transformed human being that is able to show up more powerfully, that's able to tap into your network more powerfully, that's able to follow up with every single person that you're supposed to be following up with, then there's just a limit on how much you're going to be able to achieve, because the app doesn't do it for you, just like no other piece of software does it for you, because what people want is you. And so what we're trying to do is you take every tool possible and use everything at our disposal to inspire you, to prompt you, and to show you exactly how to show up so that you can do the work of showing up and have it feel natural and have it feel great for you.
Listen to me very carefully here. The app has nothing to do with it. The app just makes what you have got to learn to do easier. And that's becoming a better human being that's interested in people instead of interesting. You're not throwing up on people. You're actually, you're interviewing them. You're remembering what they say. You're documenting it. And then here comes Thanksgiving. You're not looking at your relatives and saying, oh my gosh, I would have called you since I saw you last year. You're actually a good human being staying in touch with the people that matter to you. It's not the app that's the big part of this thing. It's the application. The app just facilitates the actual action of being a contact mapper. And where I've been successful is in that application, not in the app. I was completely a hot mess with trying to build what the app does in my own life. I did it with Constant Contact. I did it with various ways to try to keep track of people, and it never worked. Goldmine, Act, Excel spreadsheets, Rolodex, business cards. I mean, it was horrible. And finally, I've got everybody I need right there, and they literally swallow their cigar. John Haremza. I mean, I know this guy's blood type. The other night, I wanted to talk to him about something. I hit the phone, it rang 2 times. I hung up because I thought he was busy. Phone came back 14 seconds later. I said, well, hello, John. He goes, you call, I answer. Why? Because we have a relationship. I'm not a Kirby vacuum salesman. I'm a friend of his. And that's what I'm proud of that. That makes sense to you?
Absolutely. Right.
All right. Can we go back to the show?
I think we probably better.
All right. I think so
GCN
too.
will be mad if not.
GCN will be mad.
We need to talk about the rebrand of the show starting next week on the air. So don't forget to do that.
And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and we are back. It is the Tom Chenault Show. I hope you loved Christina. She is one vibrant person. I hope you do develop a relationship with her in the closet, because that's where she's always at. She never comes out of the closet. And I'll never forget when I came out of the closet. I came into my dad and I said, Dad, I'm coming out of the closet. He goes, I knew you were gay. I said, no, Dad, I'm not gay. I'm a network marketer. And he looked me in the eye and said, I wish you were gay. So that's just a terrible joke. But I hope it was a tremendous joke that I just made up. That's pretty funny. I'm as red as a beet. It was probably inappropriate.
How much is that going to cost you?
Yeah, that's so funny. It's a great joke. So anyway, look how red I am. So I just made it up coming off of her being in the closet. I thought it was funny.
Was tremendous.
Okay, so now we got John Haremza, and I love him. And he has written books. But what I love about him, I'll never forget he hit my radar many years ago. There's a pharmacist named Bob Beitcher. And I drove down to Bob Beitcher's house. He was in Breckenridge, Colorado. Then he moved to Highlands Ranch. I went down to his house. I sat down with him. I gave him my pitch. He looked at me and said, this sounds good, but I'm in business with a guy named John Haremza. I like him better than I do you, Tom. I'm staying here. And I'll never forget it. So I read all John's books, and I could not figure out how on earth this guy did it until I got to know him. And then I'm telling you, he is completely and totally the real deal. I love him. But before we go there, what are we doing?
So next week we have something really exciting that is going to be a change to the name of this show. And in conjunction with that, we're actually going to be launching this as a podcast. So you can go back and you can listen to these things. You can share it easily with your community. You can listen to it while you're working out or doing the dishes or doing all the kind of stuff that all of you podcast loving people do. And so what we are going to be doing is renaming this show the Network Marketing Leadership Show with Tom Chenault. And we are going to just be doing a whole bunch of cool stuff. And so
Are you going to be able to get that website?
I think so.
Yeah, good.
I think we got it.
I know we got it. So the funny thing about this is again, I am a dinosaur. And all I've done is cobble together everybody's real good ideas, doing them halfway. And everybody knows that. They don't expect great things from me in technology or anything else. They expect great things in me in the fact that I remember them, which is good by me. Now I got him. I got his partner from MIT. We've got Jason, who has a degree in video production, working here full time. Yeah. We've got Marianne, who is a producer of the show and unbelievably gifted. So it's about time we were ready for prime time, and next week it all starts, right?
Exactly.
And Eric Worre and Higdon and Haremza and Frazier and Angel and Taylor, they're all going to be calling me for tips. And I'm going to say it was my idea.
Perfect. Great point.
All right. Now, after that tremendous introduction of John that you have all forgotten, let's go to John. Hi, John.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
I have never been better. You look great. What's going on?
Hey, I'm just doing it every day. Just keep doing it.
I was on a mastermind last week with Eric Worre and 100 earners. You weren't there. And it was an unbelievable mastermind. In the middle of it, Eric told me a story, told us all a story, 106 people a story about the success that you have had with sampling. And even though I've read all your books, I've had you on this show 5 times. Every time you write a book, every time I can have you, I have you on. But you went from literal zero to hero in the last 2 years in a market that everybody says is dying by putting together a sampling program. And I just want to cut it to the chase and ask you what the hell you did, because I am in awe.
Well, first off, I didn't do it. One of my leaders actually came up with it, a lady by the name of Karen Ford. She's the person who, just her and her little group started doing this and having phenomenal success. And, that, as in anything that's working, gets the attention of others. And then I remember I was on my dock and I gave her a call and I said, explain to me exactly what you're doing. And it's just like the light bulbs came on. And so I, just totally got turned on and excited, started promoting it, kind of put a number formula together, if you will, of how, you can use this sampling program with the customer acquisition, with how many convert to members, and showing somebody how they can cash flow very, very quickly, go from, $575 to a little over $3,000 through this sampling program and fill a pipeline and begin to build an organization. And so the company really adopted it overall, and it's led us from, like you said, we went from $1 million a month to 13 million a month in 12 months.
And the reason it happened was because you got an entire company behind an idea, and the idea actually made sense and produced results for not only you as a leader, for the brand new person coming in, and for the customer. So everybody won, right?
Yeah, and I think, some of the magic behind the sampling program, sampling, there's nothing new about it, right? We've been sampling products our whole career, and in most cases, we're always, we're giving people samples, right? And which, in a sense, kind of from a mindset standpoint, almost devalues the product. And it's almost like you're begging someone, please try, what I have. And when you do that, I would guess maybe 30% of those samples actually get used, right? And when what Karen had came up with is she called it the 6-day experience. And so it was selling the samples for a 6-day experience for $20. And I think what's magical about that is, number one, is it automatically puts value on the product. Instead of a distributor, spending their money or giving their product away, costing them money, all of a sudden they start making money, right? And I always say people don't quit network marketing because they're not making money. They quit network marketing because they're losing money, right? And so when you can change that equation and put money in people's pocket immediately, And the $20 price mark just seems, I mean, it's like a breakfast, right? I mean, there's, I mean, you think about giving somebody a product and maybe they will, maybe they won't try it. When they buy it, I mean, 100% of the people are going to try that, and they're excited to try it. They paid for it. And so I think you're going to have a much more qualified prospect. And you know, we found, you know, $20, $5, whatever it is that you're using, or, you know, the barrier is very, very low, where if you're asking somebody to buy a whole product, all of a sudden now they got to think about it, right? But, you know, $20 or anything less than $20, not much of a decision. Sure, I'll try that.
So what's so cool about that is you're getting it out there. You mentioned that you were standing on your dock. So you're obviously loaded, or you just have a boat and you don't have a car, one of the two. But at the end of the day, is it hard for you to ask somebody to buy something for $20? Do you have any problem to be doing the sampling as a big leader, going out and saying, give me $20 versus just handing it to them? Is that hard for you?
No, it's not hard at all, especially when you really believe in the product and you really believe that they're going to have a positive experience. They're going to experience something, right? And so, but I think the other thing from a standpoint of, I tell you what I do feel bad about is having a distributor buy $500, $1,000 worth of product and go give it away, right?
That's right.
I mean, you know, but when you can teach them, and, you know, everything in our business, right? Everything in our business sets an example of what others think they have to do. And when if we can change our mindset on that, instead of, you know, getting someone to buy a big pack and give it away, cost them money, versus having them buy that pack. And if they can see an outlet for that pack and see a return immediately off of that product versus giving it away, I mean, that's what I feel good about.
Okay. So you guys, he's saying something really brilliant here. You have to pay attention. He can afford to give away $20 samples all day long. I can afford to give $20 samples away all day long. Chad Williams can't afford that. The guy that's just coming in the business, when you give them away because you're some hotshot earner, instead of make everybody do exactly the same thing, and that breaks the chain of duplication. It breaks the system. It breaks the culture. And the name of the game is do what John says. And you've got to be able to duplicate this thing at the lowest common denominator. That person that is just getting in the business buys that $575 kit, breaks it down so he can go resell it and get $1,000 back in the bank. I think it's brilliant. And I think literally every network marketer watching this show has got something in their quiver of arrows as far as product in their company that they could do that sample program with. And John you've been doing this for a long time, and you've been around a lot of runs that have really worked out. This has got to be one of the epic runs of all time as far as success goes for you. It is for me. I've never heard anything like that.
Yeah, definitely for me, you know, I am having the greatest level of success I've ever had. And, you know, I think that there's something else, a point in that, because, you know, I mean, growth, right? When you can find yourself within a growth environment, it magnifies and multiplies your efforts, right? If you're in a flat or declining environment, it diminishes your efforts. And so many times I think people make the mistake of thinking that they're so good. I mean, you know, look at me, I'm the superstar. And yes, hey, you have to work hard and you have to be consistent, you have to be focused, but you have to be in the right environment. And I mean, I'm not a different person. I'm not doing anything different than I've ever done, but I'm experiencing a greater level of success, right? And I think the point there is I see these people, you know, they start reading their own press releases and thinking their success is all about them, and it's not. It's about everything put together. There's nothing special about me. I always get focused and stay in and be consistent.
How do people get hold of you or get one of these sample things? How do they do it?
Well, probably best would be to just reach out to me on Facebook. You can message me there, you know, or you can, you know, email me, you know, at johnharemza@aol.com. Probably
AOL?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. 35. I have graduated.
I do have a Gmail account.
Don't even
but
tell
somebody else has my name, and so I had to switch it around. So I've got haremza.john@gmail. You could reach me there, haremza.john@gmail.
Oh, I love that AOL address, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I need to get rid of it. It takes me like sifting through 100 spam messages before I can get to a real message.
Oh, that is hilarious. Well, that's exciting stuff, man. I am unbelievably proud of you. John, you've been a network marketer for a long time. How do you think the industry's doing these days? I mean, it's customer, a lot more attention to the customer, a lot less attention to all the bells, all the slick stuff. Are you happy that's going that way?
Absolutely. And even the sampling program, that is one of the major benefits of what we're experiencing is huge customer acquisition. I mean, I've never seen more customers than what I'm experiencing right now. And so I think I could not be more excited about this industry. I mean, we are building people, we're changing lives. Everybody should be doing a network marketing company. I mean, I absolutely love what we do and how we change people's lives in every way.
I love you. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back right after this. We're going to continue talking. I want to talk to you about, obviously, a lot of things that you've done in the business to go to the moon, but I also want to talk about how you had to switch you went down a couple times and had to go back up. That's the true testimony of a leader, and I want to talk about that. So we're coming back right after this on the Genesis Communication Network with Adrian Chenault and Tom Chenault. We'll be right back. And we're back.
All right, welcome to the break, sponsored by Contact Mapping.
Yeah, don't you love him?
Oh my gosh, John, he has not.
I haven't stopped talking about
you. He flipped out when he heard this story, and I assumed you were the one who told it to him.
Yeah, but no, Eric told me.
He has just been going crazy. He's so excited about it.
Yeah,
it kind of, I think it fits into. So we went over last weekend. We went and saw Armand Puyo at Vita Divina, and a big part of what they do is that same kind of thing where it's like you should have some product on hand. This gives you a way to build some momentum and to be able to generate some cash right out of the gates. And that's a really powerful thing.
And we're going to talk about it on the other side of the break a lot more. But his contact mapping app is what drives that whole thing. Follow up is what drives your sampling program. And if you've got a hole in your boat, John, I'll guarantee you it is because of the sampling working like a charm, but the people not having a strong system in place to handle all those follow-ups they need to make, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Am I still live?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we were in the commercial.
We are, so, but we're still live. Commercials are live, so that's a
good
problem.
Thing I didn't start picking my nose or something. I thought I was probably off the air. Anyway, yeah, there's no question. I mean, the fortunes in the follow-up, we've heard it for years and years and years. And in the sampling program, following up on that timely basis, and what you've put together with this contact manager, the way you can keep track of that and keep your notes together and stay on top of those prospects, definitely can make a major difference in someone's having, great success.
When he first devised, I've always thought I was, I act like I'm a train wreck, but I really kind of think I'm good at what I do. And I always knew that I was really good at meeting people, getting their story and remembering their story. And when he built the app, that app helped me. It probably took me from about a 7 to a 9, and on the interview and the documenting part, where I really was astounded. And now I really notice it about the biggest leaders, especially, is everybody sucks at follow-up. They are terrible. And I didn't realize that. And if there is a gift that keeps on giving in the contact mapping app, it's the follow-up component, because it literally reminds you every day you're behind the 8 ball. And I love that. And
yeah, it's huge.
It's changed my life. It's changed my life with you. I mean, I'm a better man. I'm a better man in my family. Follow-up is everything. And they talk about, 7 or 8 touches before somebody is really going to buy from you. And everybody rolls their eyes because they know they could never do that. They couldn't do it. They wouldn't know what to say after the second follow-up. This app takes you from A to Z. And will train you. I promise you, it will be the best $10 a month you ever spent in your life. We'll give your money back otherwise. Is that fair?
Absolutely. And I've got one more fun little thing for you. So
what is it?
It's all, if you're not all of our watchers here are in the United States, but many of them are. It's almost Thanksgiving coming up. And there is nothing more terrifying for a network marketer than Thanksgiving and just knowing that your family's just going to be going, are you making any money in that business? And, all this sort of junk. And so we have put together the contact mapping guide to surviving the holiday season.
No.
And it is so fun and hilarious. And it's going out tomorrow. And so what I want you to do
They didn't even ask me to collaborate on that.
Well, I'm a good writer. I didn't need you.
Cool.
So I'm going to put the link to join our newsletter today so that you can receive that tomorrow. But it's hilarious. It's a lot of fun. It talks about family gatherings. It talks about your office holiday party and all kinds of fun stuff. And you are going to be a changed human being. So you want to check that out.
I never get invited to Thanksgiving with my family anymore. Ever since I took the whiteboard and put it at the end of the table, it's been over. I've been alone every year at Thanksgiving.
We have to get back on the show.
All right, we're coming back right after this. That was a fun break. And we're back. We got John Haremza with us, man. I am telling you what, I love this guy, don't you?
He's awesome. Real deal.
I'll tell you. In the middle of the night, I called him. It was about 11:30 your time, wasn't it, when you called, when I rang you twice?
Well, I was actually in Vegas, so I think it was
a little earlier there,
9:30. Maybe it was. I don't remember. But, hey, I see your name pop up on my phone. What am I going to do? I have to answer. I couldn't
believe it. And basically, I just rang it twice like it was a pager to remind me to have him call me maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I was on the couch sitting there with my mother-in-law and my wife watching some meaningless television show. But it was so cool having him call and getting to hear how this sampling program worked and how he went from literally at like this point of desperation, is this going to work, to a point where he is really, really, I'm not going to put numbers up, but killing it right now. And I want you to talk about your career a little bit, John, because you have changed companies a couple of times. You've been through, not by your design, but what I tell everybody that's so great about network marketing is if you're that leader and your company goes down or they do something egregious where you have to leave, it really isn't that big a deal because you've got the skill sets to do it again, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I have been now 31 years in the industry, right? And, I think the other thing that I think is powerful or empowering about my story is, I grew up in a small town of Minnesota. I was a blue collar worker, high school education. I have a learning disability. I have dyslexia. I still struggle with it today. But I was, very, very shy and introverted, low self-esteem and self-confidence. I literally wouldn't even say hi to somebody unless they said hi to me first. And so, if you're, and I guess that's one of the reasons I've had the success I've had, because I believe if I can do this, you can do this too. Right. And what network marketing does is it creates an environment of this, everybody trying to lift you up. Right. Where in a job, many times people want you to do good, just not better. Right. Because then their own job gets threatened. But I was kind of accidentally introduced to network marketing. It was a water filter. Didn't think they wanted me to sell, thought they wanted me to build a display. Started out part-time, didn't want to sponsor anybody because I'm like, why would I want to bring someone else in and create my own competition? The first person I brought in was my brother, and that was because we had made a pact between us that no one else is to know about this. Just going to be him and I selling these water filters. And I went to an event. I met a guy by the name of Mike Nelson. He brought me up to his room afterwards, explained the concept of leverage and building a sales organization, had a paradigm shift, and went out selling the business opportunity along with the product after that. Pretty soon I'm full-time, fell in love with the concept of network marketing, and some things happened. A big leader left, made me kind of question, and I, affected my belief. And so I, found a newer company with a consumable product and spent the next 12 years there. And, some things happened with the company where it got sold and merged and sold. And I lost my belief. And I think at the end of the day, that's probably the most important thing for one's success is belief in what it is you're doing, who you're doing it with. And although both of those companies that I left are still doing well, they're thriving, they're doing great. But for me, it affected my belief. It was where I was in my life at the time. So I didn't weather the storm. And I don't know if you can call it luck, wisdom or good fortune. I've been very fortunate in my decisions, and found another company, became a master distributor with that. And that's where I kind of made my first really, really big money. And again, found myself in a situation where things out of my control affected my belief. And that what led me to where I am today. So, but I've only been with 4 companies and over a 31-year window.
Yeah.
And I've had every one I've felt, I've learned, and I appreciate and value. I loved every experience. I didn't have any bad experiences. I mean, yes, I had issues with belief and, some decisions I made corporately or whatever. But I mean, overall, I love this industry and the power of it and the life-changing power of it. So that was a long answer.
No, that was a great answer. And tell me real quickly, tell them about when you were pissed off about your brother. Because you thought it was in your book, and you thought he was stealing your territory, and he was in your downline, but you didn't understand that. You thought he was competing with you, and he was making you money, right?
Yeah, well, actually, he was the first person. I was brand new. I was out knocking on doors trying to sell these filters, and they were sold by called a puppy dog approach, right? You let them try some, fall in love with it, didn't want to give it up. I placed 3 filters. He came with me to follow up with those 3 filters. And I sold one of the 3. And so you bought it for 120, sold it for 179. I put $59 in my pocket. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be rich. My brother witnessed this. He says, I want to do this too. And I didn't want anybody to do it with me. I wanted to keep it all to myself. And I said, you're my brother. I'm going to let you in on this deal, right? But no one else is to know about this. And so I went, from, not wanting just, hey, you're my brother, I'll let you in, to having that understanding, that paradigm shift of the concept of leverage and building a team. Now, tens of thousands of people later.
We love you, John. I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. Makes me cry that you took my call so quick. And everybody have an unbelievable weekend. This is the last Tom Chenault show ever. Next week, it's going to be called what?
The Network Marketing Leadership Show.
The Network Marketing Leadership Show. What did she text you?
And our inaugural guests next week are the great Curtis Broom and Lisa Grossman.
They are?
Awesome. Yeah.
I thought they were in Hong Kong or they're Lake or something.
They're bad. Well, they do have cell phones in those.
All right. Lisa Grossman, Curtis Broom next week on the show. Won't be as good as having John Haremza and Christina on, though. So we'll see you all next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye now. Thank you.
No, you're not done, John. We're just going to, now the show's over, but you're still live on Facebook.
The after party.
Yeah, now you can cuss.
Oh, I'm still live on Facebook. Okay.
Yeah.
You can pick your nose at your own risk, but you're still on Facebook Live.
How about, Chad. Oh, Chad Williams. I don't know if he's watching, but Chad Williams is this guy from San Antonio that came up here, got in a couple of car wrecks, lost all his teeth. His teacher told him when he was very, very young that he was special ed, and he stayed special ed for years and tried to overcome that by talking loud and a lot, and got into network marketing. And this guy has literally transformed. And I'm going to put him on a Zoom with you because you guys have similar stories. And I was hoping he was here. He lives here in Longmont. We had 2 feet of snow last night. I got up, I called Chad, said, let's go to an AA meeting. He met me there. I tried to reach him 3 or 4 times today, and he wouldn't pick up the phone. So I was getting a little irritated, and I finally got him on the phone, and I said, what are you doing? And he says, I'm shoveling all the snow at your office building because the guys didn't do a very good job. That's Chad Williams. He'll give you the shirt off his back, and no one deserves success more than him. And I'm going to plug him in with you, John. It would be a favor to me if you just tell him your story so he knows there's hope, because he wasn't. And just like you, dyslexia means nothing except that you're dyslexic and that you'd learn differently, not worse. And I love you, John, with all of my heart. And you need to know that. And I'm not nice enough to you. And I'm going to make Marianne send you some coffee or something. No, we're going to send you something. I don't know what it is. I love you, man. And thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you and all you do. And, you talk about your story with your friend there. and how he just talked loud, because different, we react differently. For me, I tried to be invisible. I just tried not to be noticed. I was just that quiet kid in the corner, because I was in all the special ed, having to leave the class to have tests read to me. And it's crazy how that stuff affects your confidence. And when you're told something and, you're thought to be slow, dumb, and stupid, and you start believing it, right? And then it's something like this comes along and shows you that, hey, you're not. You can do more than, what people told you can do.
Chad's one of the smartest guys I know.
Yeah.
He believed that for a while. He doesn't believe it today, just like you don't. And how old are you?
I just turned 55.
Okay, so you're 55 years old. So I think it's probably been about 35 years since somebody looked at your report card.
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. They care. We don't even like. We don't.
Would not have been impressed with it, though. I can tell you that.
Mine either. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all later.
Okay. Bye now.
See you guys.